Testing, testing, test. All right, looks like that looks horrible, so I'm going to fix it. Hold on. Like that. Right about here, and that should be fine. Okay. Hello, everyone. I have a couple of things to say at the end when we're done reading, but we're going to go through chapter 4 and possibly chapter 5. This one looks pretty long, so we'll see how long it takes me to get through it. And yeah, we'll see how long it takes to get through this. This is Water Plants for the Aquarium, chapter 4 of this book here. The Book of Aquarium and Water Cabinet, or Practical Instructions on the Formation, Stocking, and Management in All Seasons of Collections in Freshwater and Marine Life by Shirley Hibbert. And we are on chapter 4. Last week, we basically talked about the scapes and like the hardscape. We didn't know what mold was. Still couldn't figure it out. And now we're here. Hello, Sketty Nona. Hope you're doing well tonight. All right. I have this pulled up on my phone for easier reading. I'm sorry, what were you going to ask? The title? I think there is a delay, so I'm not sure what I said. Sorry about the sound. Good. I think I was going to do all that. Mold. I don't know. I still can't find it. Here. We'll go back to the we'll go where it says it in the book. Just 1 second. Let me plug my phone in. Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second. Typically, I do this anyways, so here is the link to the book if you would like it. And here is the section on the mold. In chapter 2, it is the 4th paragraph in chapter 2. Chapter 3, my bad, sorry. Chapter 3. For funsies. You showed the book title. Yes, that's what I was going to ask. Yes. I did send the link. I'll just pull you down to chapter 4. But you can always scroll. It's the book though. I do want to say that there has been a little bit of concern and confusion about me reading this book for y'all. And I just wanted to clear up that before we get into the mold thing, it says up here, this ebook is free. This ebook is for the use of anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away, or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. This is an out of copyright book. I am using it with the permission of Project Gutenberg. I can reuse it. It's fine. So anybody that was concerned about that, I am within my legal limits of reading this book. So here's where it says about the mold. It said mold has been extensively recommended as a bottom for tanks. I've used it myself until I became convinced that it would be dispensed with altogether. It could be dispensed with altogether. It necessitates frequent changing of the water for at least a fortnight after the first stocking of the tank in order to get rid of the soluble vegetable matter which the water dissolves out of it, and its presence promotes the growths of algae and other low forms of aquatic vegetation that become obnoxious to the sight and even hurtful to the health of the collection. When she's referring to the collection, she means the animals inside the tank. I now use sand and pebbles only. I find that aquatic plants of all kinds root freely and flourish in it. And indeed, if pebbles only be used, they flourish just as well if their roots are covered. Welcome in Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. All right. So I have some sources that say that mold is a type of soil or um, how do you call it? Manure? No, that's poo. Compost. It's like compost and dirt. Um, so a layer of mold should be placed at the bottom, over which clean sand may be sifted. The mold should be a good garden loam or better still, leaf mold. Another quote says, a layer of rich mold at the bottom will nourish the roots of aquatic plants. And these are from The Aquarium and Unveiling of the Wonders of the Deep Sea from 1854 and River Gardens from 1857, respectively. This shows, especially the first book quote would garden loam or leaf mold. So looking at these, I said leaf mold. Leaf mold is the compost produced by the decomposition of shaded deciduous shrubs and tree leaves, primarily by fungal breakdown in a slower, cooler manner, as opposed to the bacterial degradation of leaves. That's from Wikipedia. So basically, it is dirt. Mold is dirt. Maybe a slightly more nutritious dirt with compost in it, but it is dirt. So I wanted to help clear that up a little bit because for a while I had absolutely no idea what this could have meant. And a lot of people were like, is it mold? Is it algae? Is it literal mold? Or what is it? So we have figured it out. Mold is dirt, in which Shirley Hibbert does not like. All right. We're now on chapter 4, the first paragraph. How to stock a tank quickly. All right. Oops. How to stock a tank quickly. It is usual to fix the plants and fill up the tank to within a few inches of the top and then leave the hole for a week before completing the collection by the introduction of fishes. Where a beginner has sufficient patience to wait, this is very advisable because the hole gets well settled. The plants start into growth and the water gets softened and charged with oxygen. But this plan is not the only one that may be followed. If well-washed pebbles be used instead of mold, which again we have agreed this is dirt, as I have advised, the fishes may be introduced to the same day as the plants are inserted. By first taking care that you insert plenty of large, healthy plants and then throw on the top as much of the brook starwort, Calatrilla um, autumnalis, as will cover the whole. I lately stocked 2 tanks in this way and performed the whole in less than 2 hours, forming the bottom, planting the vegetation, and adding the fish: perch, tench, Prussian and British carp, roach, minnows, gudgeon, and chub. And all went on as well as if the tank had stood a month to strengthen. The water being from the first moment as brilliant as any of the Castilian springs. Castilian springs that flow through classic verses. The lovely green of the starwort spread over the whole of the surface of the water. It has a fairy-like effect, and it is necessary to get a good supply of starwort from a brook, throw it into a large vessel of clear water, pick off the green heads, with 4 or 6 inches of stem only to each. Then wash all these picked portions till they are bright and clean, and throw the whole into the tank to take its chance. You must be lavish as to quantity. It soon spreads all over the surface and arranges itself most beautifully, forming a rich green ceiling, giving the verdant shadows which a new tank wants. It grows freely, lasts for months, continually throwing out new roots and shoots from the joints, and creates abundance of oxygen. From the first hour of it being thrown in, whenever it seems desirable, it can be got rid of by simply lifting it out. My own are the only tanks I have seen stocked in this way. Selection of plants. Selection of plants. There is scarcely any aquatic plant but may be grown in an aquarium, and unless some attention is given to the botanical department, only half the pleasure and instruction is it capable of affording is attended. I cannot agree with Mr. Goss that the vegetation of a tank has so strictly a secondary place, preserved because they cannot be dispensed with, or in either a marine or freshwater vessel, the vegetation is a special source of beauty and interest, and fairly divides attention with the animals. Supposing it were impossible to keep animals in such vessels, they would still be acceptable for the formation of aquatic gardens. Beauty of form and adaptability to confinement are the requisites. Beauty of form and adaptability to confinement are the requisites for this purpose, and the more lakes and rivers are explored, the more the botanical department of the aquarium will be extended, both as to ornament and usefulness. Water soldier. Among the plants easily attainable, and which combine grace of outline with cleanliness of growth and tendency to create oxygen, I can recommend, first of all, the famous water soldier, Stratogius allodius. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering all these scientific names. A lovely cactus-like plant, which grows equally well with or without a root, as indeed most water plants do. In form, it closely resembles the tuft of herbage on the crown of a pineapple, and its leaves have similar serrated edges. If thrown in, it floats on the surface and puts forth new heads in plenty, each new head springing from the base of the leaf on a long stalk. By separating these, when pretty well grown, and removing the stem from the base, any number of new plants may be formed. If it be wanted to, root at the bottom, as indeed is best, cut away the decayed portion of the base, and trim off every dark colored leaf, and throw the plant in again. In a few weeks, it will throw out roots, and it may then be attached to a stone by a piece of bass and dropped in to fix itself where wanted, without in any way disturbing the tank. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going through plants today. Here we go. Starwort. Oh yay! I'm stuttering. I'm sorry. Starwort, I have already spoken of, is a pretty good purveyor of oxygen. It is a pretty plant of a delicate green hue, which appears on the surface of brooks and ditches everywhere, both in this country and all over the continent. At a little distance, at a little distance, it has so much the appearance of duckweed as to be recognized with difficulty. Its old botanical name is Caleriche aquatalis, but owing to its liability to vary its appearance, botanists have lately divided it into several species. The two most common, which are C. autumnalis and C. viralis. I'm curious what this is. One second. Here. In case y'all are also wondering what this is. Hmm. This is what they're talking about with starwort. That's what this is. Look, a dragonborn. So, starwort, I have already spoken of, is a good purveyor of oxygen. It is a pretty plant of a delicate green hue, which appears on the surface of brooks and ditches everywhere, both in this country and on the continent. At a little distance, it has so much the appearance of duckweed as it to be recognized with difficulty. Its old botanical name is Calurigia aquatus, but owing to its liability to vary its appearance, the botanists have lately divided it into several species. The two most common of which are C. autumnalis and C. vernalis. The vernalis is what I found this under. Okay. I figured that y'all would appreciate knowing what that is. Valsinaria spiralis is essential to every freshwater tank. It is native of Italy and named in honor of the Italian naturalist Valsinaria. The blooming of this plant is very curious and worthy of close scrutiny. It likes abundance of light and must be grown as a bottom plant, flourishing only when well rooted. Okay. The next plant I just searched up, and it is the old name of Alodia canadensis. So the plant that we're talking about now is the old name for Alodia. Okay. So Alodia, or the new water weed, is an interesting plant that grows freely, whether rooted or not, but it can only be considered ornamental when springing from the bottom. It thrives just as well without a root as with one, but if firmly fixed, usually sends down a number of white rootlets from joints on the stem. I have seen roots of this kind sent down 6 inches to reach the bottom, while the lower part of the stem was decaying rapidly. Let's see. These are water milfoils that we're going to be talking about next. The myrophyllum. Myrophyllum contributes some lovely members to the aquarium. All the plants of this genre are of elegant structure. The leaves finely divided and of a delicate emerald green. M. spictatum is perhaps the best, but there are other species to be had of the dealers that are worthy of attention. Let me get through. Potamogeton is an extensive genre of water plants, numbering not less than 15 species in the brooks and rivers of this country alone. Excuse me. P. flutens, crispus, and dentus. P. flutens, crispus, and densus are most easily obtained, and they flourish in the tank and make rich branching masses for the center or to climb over rockwork. They are all rather coarse and apt to shed their lower leaves, but if well placed, produce a striking effect. They blossom freely in the aquarium, and that is a great recommendation. I'm going to leave y'all on this beautiful engraving really quick while I go grab some water. And when I come back, I'll look at the chat and see what's going on. All right. Oh, welcome in and goodbye. Happy Place Aquatics. Hello, Branton Lightcap and Ben Sharp. Everyone, welcome in. Thank you. We're talking. This is the book from the 1856. And we're talking about plants. I have, we left off at Pontomojutans. And now we're at it's interesting how a lot of these stayed the same. This is just a yellow water lily we're going to talk about next. Let's see. Neferluita, or yellow water lily, is the best of the water lilies for this purpose. It grows freely and produces graceful outlines below and above. It should be planted early in spring to secure blossom. But if it does not throw up blossoms in the summer, it may be removed, and its place supplied by a plant in full bloom. Nymphaea, Macaranthia, and Nodorata minor are also highly suitable. Eriocolon, or the pipewort, sends its only English species, E. septangulaire, to the tank. It is a bog plant, rises 6 inches high, and does not succeed if immersed for more than 3 inches. Hence, it is suitable for the top of an ark, but not for the deep water of the tank. The plant is perennial and produces a white blossom. With 1 petal and 4 stamens, the flower stem is velvety and the leaves spread in a tuft from the root. Lovely. Bladderwort is what we're talking about. May be recommended as a botanical curiosity, but it is met with only, as far as I know, in the brooks of the southern countries, Hants and Surrey especially. It produces a yellow blossom in June and July. The root has a curious inflated appendage. There are two other species, U minor and U intermedia, differing but little in general aspect from the common sort. This is called floating club rush. Isopelus flutans, or the floating isopelus, is another of the curiosity of the water botany. It is somewhat common in English ponds and soil streams. The blossom is inconspicuous, having no petals. The stamens are 3 in number, and there is but one petal. This one is water owlwort. Subulera aquatica is one of the few aquatic plants furnished by the great family of crossworts, or plants of the cabbage and wallflower kind. Its common name is owlwort, and it is suggested by the awl-like foliage, which it produces underwater. It is to be found only in clear mountain lakes, for it is a true aquatic alpine, frequent only in the north of England and in Scotland and Ireland. The aquarian who resides near any mountain lake or pool should seek for it and treasure it as the choicest gem in his collection. The lower leaves are curve-pointed like a cobbler's awl, and in July it sends up a short stalk bearing a head of a snow-white 4-petaled blossoms, and presents a somewhat unique example of a flower in full bloom under the water. My attention was first called to this plant by Mr. Darwin's charming work on the wild plant on wild plants called botany of the Bovarenes. I do want to mention that this is what she is calling, and I quote, the choicest gem in his collection. It's lovely. Not something that I would call the choicest gem in someone's collection. Subulera aquatica. We're on what? Granulus. Ranunculus aquatilis, or the water crowfoot, must be known to everyone who has been in the habit of rambling in the country quite sober with eyes open. With eyes open. It is to be found in almost every pond, and by the middle of May it is in full bloom, continuing happily till far into the aquarium. It is a member of the buttercup family and may be recognized as a buttercup of a snow white with a deep yellow center. If you step carefully to the edge of a pond or river where this crowfoot covers the shore water with its floating foliage and thousands of snowflakes, you will not be in a hurry to disturb it. It is so truly beautiful. But reach forth your hand and tenderly take up a head, and as you draw it from its plashy bed, you will find that it is truly amphibious in structure, no part of the undergrowth being at all like that which floats above in the air and sunshine. The floating leaves are fleshy and neatly lobed. The lower ones are as finely cut as fennel, and from every joint numerous white rootlets will be seen protruding, on their way to find root at the bottom. This plant requires a good washing in clear water before it is fixed in the tank, or it may be the means of introducing many objectionable growths. It will be best to cut away the lower portions and root it from a good joint, allowing it just length enough to float its arc of green and white upon the surface. When you have secured as many complete plants as you require, and 2 strong stems will be enough for any task, pick off a dozen or more blossom heads, taking each at a clear joint. When the roots are planted, sprinkle the short flowering tops over the surface, and you will have at once a wide spread of snowy white flowers that will continue happy till the end of summer, while the fixed roots will give you the graceful effect to the vegetation of the mid-water. Hydrocharis morse rampsey, or the common frogbit, may be obtained of the dealers and is common in brooks and rivers. It is a perennial, interesting in its growth, very curious when in flower, and a good maker of oxygen. alisma, which is common water plantain, is what it's giving me. Of several species may be obtained from brooks and rivers in plenty. It is the water plantain of the old botanists and has an ancient renown, which cannot be dealt with here. The long stems and landicate leaves of this genre give a pleasing variety to the vegetation of the tank. And this, our lovely duckweed. Lemna, the 4 English species, may be used to advantage if the whole of the surface be covered with the pretty grass-green fronds of this very common plant. The effect is good, and it gives a sultry shade to the finny creatures. A single frond thrown in will soon spread and cover the tank in time. Its growth cannot be contemplated without pleasure. L. Tricia is a very pretty kind, common in the neighborhood of London. The sweet-scented rush, members of this Alsme tribe and the noble Sagittaria of 6 species, the hornwort, Ceratophyllum of 2 species, and for more delicate purposes, Chara and Nutella may be recommended as suitable additions to the botanical department of the aquarium. Oh boy. All right. Let's see. The Madagascar lace had a baby, no bulb on the baby. If it has roots, it should be fine. I miss my big screen. It's only been a day. Hard to read on the phone. I can imagine. This book is so interesting. It's been really fun to check the names of all these plants and seeing that most of them are the same almost 200 years later. I will be I sent a link in the chat. If you haven't already, New Locals Austin's stream begins in about a half an hour. He goes right after me. If you just click the notification to help support, that would be really awesome. All right, I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm just pulling up some of the Victorian era fish tanks that I have found while I was on my little break. All right, this should get us started. Oopsies, oopsies. All right, here we go. This, let me see. Is a lovely Fisk cast iron aquarium. Looks like it has aqua soil in it right now. It is vintage from the 1900s. It costs $15,000 with only $400 shipping. Cast iron. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. I love it. I have also found this beautiful Victorian terrarium fish tank bowl with ornate cast iron stand on eBay for about $3,000. Beautiful. Lovely. The stunning stand with aquarium. I also found this on First Dibs. Extraordinary 19th century aquarium for $15,000. Absolutely stunning it is, honestly. This is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. I don't know how fish would live in it, but it is beautiful. And I also found this Deco cast iron aquarium fish tank by Jewel for 10% off, making it about $6,000. Absolutely stunning. I just found this 2000-ish dollar antique Art Deco metal fishbowl stand. Vintage from the 1910s. Oh my goodness, this website's annoying. Here, let's go back to the wonderful fish. As we are about to wrap up, I'd like to talk about a few things. First, I will be, as of tomorrow, offering a percentage off of my art to help me go to the Keystone Clash. That means that I'm doing gold commissions. Gold, not like the metal, like as in a gold. What this means is I will take off a percentage from the art that I sell. I typically do 10 to 15%. And I will offer that discount until I get to my goal or the month of May ends. Which means that you can get some cheap art and help me get to my goal. So I'm not just asking y'all for anything. It would be, if you want to commission, this would be a great time to get one. Because I am trying to save up to be able to go to the Keystone Clash and meet a lot of y'all that aren't able to come to Texas for our conventions. That's my first big news. As of tomorrow, all my commissions, I think, are going to be 15% off. My art starts at $30. So you could get a custom digital art print for, let me do math, hold on. For as low as $25. So that's a good $5 off. Also, speaking of art, if you haven't already seen, I worked with Kyle from Outside In Aquatics in making a Fish Punks card that recently came out in a drop. If you get my card at any point in time and you take a picture of it and you send it to me, I will give you, no matter what sale is going on, an extra 10% off of art for one commission. So if you happen to have that card, and I'm currently doing for the month of May, or until I hit my goal of 15% off, you have that card, you send me a picture of you with it, or with a very recognizable fish that you have or something, you'll get an extra 10% off. Meaning that you'll get 15% plus 10% off, which is a huge deal on art. So if you do wind up getting that card and want to commission me, this is the best time. Also, I offer an additional discount if you would. I do a commission for you and you let me put it in my portfolio. That is 5% off of the commission. So 15% off for my gold commissions, 10% if you have the Vintage Victoria card, and an extra 5% if you let me put it into my portfolio. That is a total of 30% off of art for this month or until I reach my goal. That is an amazing deal that never happens. So a really amazing time to buy art, especially if you have the Vintage Victoria card. And it helps me get to the Keystone Clash. And if I do ever happen to go over it, it will all go back into improving this channel and helping others in the fish fam. So almost every single one of my commissions that I do, I like to take a percentage of that and give back to the community, whether that be with super chats, memberships, or buying something from or donating something to someone in the community. All right. I have a couple more things to say, but y'all are more than welcome to come back and hear them later and head over to New Local Austin's stream and support him. It would not only, I'm sure, make him happy to have you over there, but it would make me happy if you went and supported him as well. Just basic stuff. I will be streaming tonight. Well, this morning at 1 o'clock Central. So in about 2 hours, I'll put up the morning stream. I do want to say that I love all the support that I am getting on the morning stream. And I'm really doing this. I mean, yes, I get watch hours from it, but I'm a long way out to making money on YouTube, right? So I love seeing that y'all come and talk to each other in the chat, and then I wake up and I get to read back all the conversations and like see like the community coming in and supporting me. I get to post other people's live streams because I get a nice click-through rate, and people go and support other streams while I'm streaming. Nobody has to feel bad. They can come in, say hi, come and go as they please. It's just been a really amazing experience, and I'd like to thank everybody who has helped make it that way. Also, we're coming up to 200 subscribers, and once I hit that for a little bit and stay consistently at 200, maybe a little bit above, I would love to do a giveaway. I'm thinking a couple of stickers and art commission will be the giveaway for 200. It's really amazing to even see that almost 200 people are supporting me, and I'd really like to give back to y'all in any way that I can. I really appreciate the support, and it means a lot to me, and knowing that I can make somebody's day enough for them to stick around and help support me as well. So we went over art commissions, we went over all the discounts that I'm offering right now. We went over the morning streams that I've been doing. I'm looking for a guest to come up with me on Sunday evenings. If you'd like to come up and even be a somewhat regular, and come talk. You don't have to show your face. You could show your tanks. You could just be a disembodied voice. And just come hang out on Sunday evenings with me. If you'd like to be a co-host on Sunday, just shoot me an email and let me know, or message me on Instagram, or join the Discord and message me on either one of my accounts. And that would be greatly appreciated. I would love to have somebody to talk to during the Sunday streams. The Sunday streams are a little bit looser and less professional than the Wednesday streams. They're generally considered 18 plus and not for children. So if you're comfortable with that and would like to join me on Sundays, at least sometimes, please shoot me an email, message me on either Instagram or Discord. I also have Facebook. All of it's the same. CC's Aqua Escapes. I think that's it. I will see y'all in New Local Austin stream in a little bit, and I will see you in the morning streams and on Sunday. Thank y'all, and have a great night. I'll see you later. Bye.